On July 2nd, the U.S. State Department spokesperson criticized Iran's suspension of cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA. Spokesperson Tammy Bruce stated during a regular press briefing that this is unacceptable and that Tehran must fully cooperate with the UN agency without delay.
It is, we'll use the word unacceptable, that Iran chose to suspend cooperation with the IAEA at a time when it has a window of opportunity to reverse course and choose a path of peace and prosperity. Iran must cooperate fully without further delay. It is worth repeating, as we've made tremendous strides to this through Donald Trump's leadership, Iran cannot and will not have a nuclear weapon. The President has said this repeatedly. The Secretary of State has said this repeatedly. We have repeated it from this podium.
The above statement from the U.S. official came after Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian issued a decree on the same day suspending cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA. The decree did not specify the duration or details of the suspension, but will further restrict the activities of IAEA inspectors in the Islamic Republic. The law was approved during an Iranian parliamentary session on June 25th with 221 votes in favor and 1 abstention. The law calls for the suspension of cooperation with the IAEA until Iran's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the safety of its nuclear facilities and scientists are fully guaranteed.
Despite the recent attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities, the International Atomic Energy Agency has not condemned them, not even superficially. It has undermined the agency's international credibility, and for this reason, the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran is suspending its cooperation with the agency until the security of its nuclear facilities is guaranteed and Iran's peaceful nuclear program will proceed at a faster pace. This legislation concerns the suspension of cooperation with the IAEA and clearly defines how Iran may continue to engage. It was passed by Iran's parliament and is legally binding, which reflects the Iranian public's deep concern and anger over recent events.
Relations between Iran and the IAEA have deteriorated to a low point after the UN nuclear watchdog passed a resolution on June 12 accusing Iran of failing to comply with its nuclear obligations. The Islamic Republic also criticized the IAEA for what it described as an unconstructive and unreasonable response to attacks by Israel and the United States on its nuclear facilities.
What happened was an act of aggression in every sense, according to international law and the Charter of the United Nations. Our main demand from international bodies, especially the United Nations, is that the aggressor be identified. The aggressor is clear. The UN Security Council must officially recognize this aggression and take the necessary measures to hold the Zionist regime and the United States accountable. We are strongly dissatisfied with the positions and actions of the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi. We are critical and believe that he has not acted within the framework of his technical duties and responsibilities as the Director General of the agency.
According to the Iranian president, the stance of the government, parliament, and the Iranian people is that IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi has not acted impartially regarding Iran's nuclear file, despite all the cooperation and engagement that has taken place. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi also recently declared that Mr. Grossi is not welcome in Iran. In an interview on June 28th, IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi predicted that Iran could begin producing enriched uranium within the next few months, despite damage caused by U.S. and Israeli airstrikes. He also stated that the IAEA does not currently know where Iran is storing its stockpile of uranium enriched up to 60%, and will seek to clarify this issue in the near future. Sources have indicated that U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, Stephen Witkoff, will hold talks with the Iranian government in the coming days to explore the possibility of reaching an agreement on Iran's nuclear program.
27 cameras are being removed in Iran, apart from an online enrichment monitoring system. The IAEA continues to monitor the situation closely, stands ready to provide technical assistance, and remains committed to its nuclear safety, security, and safeguards mandate in all circumstances. I stand ready to engage with all relevant parties to help ensure the protection of nuclear facilities and the continued peaceful use of nuclear technology in accordance with the agency mandate, including deploying agency nuclear security and safety experts in addition to our safeguards inspectors in Iran, wherever necessary, to ensure that nuclear installations are fully protected and continue to be used exclusively for peaceful purposes. So this is number one priority, like you say. We know that, I had received a letter from the Iranian foreign minister saying that they had taken protective measures already. They did not get into details into what that meant, but clearly that was the implicit meaning of that. So we can imagine that this material is there. So for that to confirm, for the whole situation to evaluate, we need to return. Of course, we have to recognize that there was a war, there was military action until yesterday. So there is, of course, common sense and dignity that we need to respect. But at the same time, we have said we need to return. We need to re-engage. And yesterday, I wrote a letter to Araghchi saying, well, let's meet to analyze the modalities.
Tehran will not allow IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi to inspect its nuclear facilities or install cameras there, after Iran discovered that information about its previously monitored sites by the IAEA had appeared in Israeli documents. Earlier, on June 26th, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov expressed his desire for Iran to continue its cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA.
The IAEA Secretariat was preparing its latest comprehensive report, which was brought up for discussion at the recent IAEA Board of Governors session. Under immense pressure from the Western countries, especially Germany, France, the UK, and the US, and many conclusions in this report came with a touch of ambiguity. So all sides should be careful, especially Director General Rafael Grossi and his employees. They should focus on their professional tasks as much as possible without allowing anybody to politicize their work. I cannot comment on the decision by the Iranian parliament to stop cooperation with the IAEA. After all, this decision is just a recommendation for the executive branch of power. We are interested in Iran's cooperation with the IAEA continuing.
Iran's suspension of cooperation with the IAEA is expected to remain in effect until specific conditions are met, including ensuring the safety of its nuclear facilities and scientists. The IAEA has not yet commented on this information.